So let me ask you, and this is a theory that I've been exploring and trying to get my head around. But if when our economy gets in trouble, what's the first thing the government does?
Screw it up more.
Well, they start spending money more irrationally, don't they? They call it stimulus, right?
Yeah, they do call it a stimulus.
All right, so what happens if we truly decide that we want to balance the federal budget? Doesn't that inherently, well, there are only two ways to do it, either raise revenue or lower spending. Most people, like me, would prefer to see it through lower spending. Isn't that going to be a destimulus and it has the potential to constrain our economy? What do you
Well,
think? How do you have
in the
we get our
data,
cake and eat it too?
in the data, it will appear to be harmful, right? We're going to be spending less money.
Yeah.
But you have to realize at heart, I can spend my money for myself, whatever I want. I like me. I know me. I will make better choices than if the government takes that dollar from me, spends it allegedly on my behalf. I'm worse off. So the real problem is when money is spent by government, it isn't spent as well as if we spend it for ourselves,
So what
right?
I
So
hear you saying,
data looks, we're spending less to buy government goods. But what if we got 20 cents on the dollar for what the government spends? So the data will look bad, even though the reality might be pretty good. And World War II is actually, the end of World War II is an example. At the end of World War II was the largest drop in GDP in American history
hmm
because wartime production fell. Well, they were counting bombers produced as adding to GDP, even though they ended up lined up on on airfields all over the earth and decommissioned. Right? This idea is that you got to look at the data and what it's measuring. It's counting every dollar government spends as if it's worth a dollar.
so if I understand what you're saying correctly, if the government lowered its spending and gave that money back to the taxpayers, they would in turn use that dollar and spend it and actually contribute to the GDP
Yeah,
in a
and, well,
real
and
way.
spend it better than the dollar would have been spent.
Yes, I like
Right? So
that
it's
idea. Well,
well, I
that's
mean,
now the
because so
Gales
the
Gordon
data doesn't do
formula.
that.